Come on out, baby. Look at him. Look at him go, ladies and gentlemen. Come in here for the real thing. Let the big bear get his paws on you. Look at this guy. Good Lord, I could
You look so
around.
damn good.
I know.
Where's that suit from?
Oh no.
I'm serious.
That's
I
Tom
like
Ford.
it. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
All right. So this is how good marketing works. We should sit down. Let's sit together. This is how good marketing works. All right.
By the way, people didn't understand a third of all the jokes that you just made right now.
That's okay. So Tom Ford's got like all my money, you know. Tom Ford, and then Christian Dior and Chanel and all that. Most of the stuff I buy for. I strangely don't wear much Chanel. It makes me look a bit effeminate. But Natalia buys a lot of, and so I'm like, a couple of years ago, I was in Las Vegas with Perry Belcher on his birthday, and me and Roland were taking him out to buy him a suit, because Perry likes nice clothes, but he will not spend any day. He just won't spend any money. So finally, he's like, we take him to Tom Ford, we take him to Brioni, we're taking him everywhere. He's like, man, I like it, I just can't. And we're like, dude, you're not buying it. It is a gift to you. He's like, I just can't do it, man. I can't. I mean, it's driving me nuts. Because, you know, that's really how Perry talks all the time. So he's like, look, I want to go to this place called Suit Supply. You're going to love it. And I'm like, I'm not going to love this. So we go, right? And I'm teasing him about it. I'm like, man, it's like Suit Shack. So I start calling it. This guy, you know, I mean, all this stuff on there. And so he gets a Suit Shack suit. So we fast forward. I'm with him again at War Room, which is a mastermind that we facilitate together, along with Ryan and Roland and Richard Linder. And Perry's got on this black suit. No, it was a gray suit. And so I'm like, man, that's a real nice suit. I've got on the same suit, all right? I'm like, I see you finally got a Tom Ford suit. Would Roland get it for you? He's like, no, man, I got this at Suit Supply. I'm like, you got to be kidding. I had on the same suit, it's $4,000. His was $400. Same suit. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute, this cannot. I'm like, y'all come in, can y'all tell the difference between these suits? No one can tell. So I got it at Suit Supply. I don't want to admit this, Tom Ford, anymore. It really is, but next one's Suit Supply, dang it. Yeah, next one's Suit Shack. I have no shame. I don't care about the label. I was like, man, okay, would you buy me this suit at Suit Shack and I'll just pay you $1,000 to put the Tom Ford label in it so I'll feel cool? He's like, yeah, man, I'll do that. All right, man. So I want to do a better job of introducing. Are we on the Facebooks? Okay, Facebooks. What we're doing right now is we're doing.
This is serious.
This is serious business. We're doing hot seats and make it cooler. So I'm inviting some clients and customers up. Some of them have problems that needs fixing. Some of them, like Fernando, are doing stuff that's really cool, and we're going to try to make it cooler. And this is improvised, so I have not really had any preparation. Of course, I didn't look at any of the stuff that you sent me. That would have been cheating. Yeah. Okay. So. I'm just going to say this is Dr. Fernando Lemunier. You are still a practicing heart surgeon?
Correct.
Yeah, show off.
You were the one doing it.
Huh?
You were the one doing it. I didn't say anything.
I know, but gosh, man. Fernando got up at 5 o'clock this morning. What did you do this morning?
I went down and I swam 2 miles.
Fernando's 73 years old. I did not swim 2 miles. Yeah. I didn't do any. I did 20 jumping jacks. I'm like, yeah. I literally, that was my exercise for the day. So explain it to him. Tell him your story, man. Fernando, tell him your story, man.
Well, I'll have you just guide with whatever you think we should say here. But I am a heart surgeon. Actually, I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon. So what I do is heart surgery and lung surgery on the side. Because now officially, I am an internet marketer, proudly so.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're a real one.
That's correct.
Yeah, you're a real one.
So my story was that as a physician, you go through all the training. When you finish your training, you're ready to face the real world. And then you got a handshake and a kick in the behind, and people tell you, good luck. Go get a job, work for a hospital, open your practice, whatever. And I didn't know anything about the process. And behind that process, there's the business side that we don't learn anything, and there's also the malpractice insurance side that can literally make you bankrupt. So I went through all the process, got my first quote-unquote job, started practicing, and I negotiated a pretty good deal for me in different aspects of it, not only financially, but then I had colleagues come to me and say, hey, how did you do it? Can you teach me? Can you tell me about this? And then I said, okay. So I opened a company to protect me from liability, and say, I'm going to create a course for physicians who want to learn how to negotiate their deal so that you're not taken advantage of and this and that, and I called that Negotiate. So I started with that, totally gung-ho about it, and first course that I bought was Brendan Burchard, what's his name of his academy? Anyway, Masters Academy, thank you.
Experts Academy.
Experts Academy.
Good product.
I would wake up at 5 in the morning, go to my TV room at home, study the thing. By 6:30, I'm leaving to the hospital, practice the whole day, come at night, work on that again. So I did that for a while, and then I just couldn't get traction from the standpoint of execution. Then I learned about Frank. We're talking about, I don't know, 5 years, something ago.
It really has been, I think, 5 years.
5 years.
I can't believe it. What happened?
HPA 5 years ago, first class of HPA.
$10,000 class.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I would interview people before they took the class, which I still do, anything typically expensive. I want to talk to somebody just to make sure it's the right fit. So I'm talking to you. We've never met before. You never bought anything from me before.
No.
And how's that conversation go? I'm sure it was warm and fuzzy.
It went fine. You were the usual, you saying, hey man, what's up? How can I help you? And
I said it a lot cooler than that, though.
You guys got the picture, right? So we talked for a few minutes. I told you what I was doing, and I really didn't know if you could help me or not because I had zero experience. And you said, yeah, I think I can help you. So I bought the HPA 6-module thing, and then I came to La Jolla. We went surfing. We did all this stuff.
How easy did I tell you it was going to be?
Well, at that time, we didn't say anything. It was kind of a quick conversation. But then I started implementing it, and I'm getting literally nowhere. And then I reach out to Frank, and I ask, hey, what the I'm not getting anywhere here, what's going on? And you said, your first webinar is going to tank. This is not going to be easy. And so you were very good about keeping things in the perspective, not, oh, here's the shiny object, you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. I was already doing well financially anyways, but nonetheless, obviously, I wanted to have the financial return and help the people that I wanted to. And so you're pretty cool about it, and the thing started to get some traction, but not very good. And then we decided maybe a couple of years later that we had to abandon it, right? And
I think it was a little sooner than that.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you're a bit of a persistent guy. So it seems to me like it was like...
I'm not sure you're serious or if you're making fun of me, but that's fine.
Look, I've got so much room to make fun of because you're always busting my balls for being a fat guy. So...
Well, it was your choice.
See what I mean every time. I told you, it's a courtesy to other men. I kind of like it, though. I like having a little bit of...
I'm not going to make any comments.
I mean, I could carry you around like luggage.
Good for you.
I could.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk to Natalia about it.
What I'm kind of saying is I'd like to. Yeah. All right, so you do this webinar. It's terrible. I remember it. It was like, dude, this thing isn't selling. This is terrible. I'm like, yeah,
sell it.
Probably not going to after a while.
In the process, I fell in love with marketing copywriting. I became a copywriter, studied like hell. And you remember, you emailed me and said, dude, stop studying copywriting and put some stuff in front of people so you can sell them something. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And to make the long story short, I started writing decent copy. And I learned a lot from Dan Kennedy. I'm with Dan Kennedy on one of the calls on the phone, and I pretty much read the whole copy verbatim to him, and he said, there's nothing wrong with your copy. The problem is not the copy. Mm-hmm. So that's when we talk, and we said, you know what? You flush that out of your system, you try it, didn't work, shelf it, let's move on.
So that's a very important rule, which I'll say over and over again. A lot of stuff is not going to work the first time. Sometimes it just won't work. So what we do is we will make a terrible mistake of being married to a concept. Because you were like, man, this Negotiate thing, I want to keep these young doctors from getting screwed over by the hospitals. I'm like, well, I mean, logically, it'll make sense, but there's only one way to tell, and that's to see if the market wants it. They didn't want it. So he had two choices. Number one, quit and do nothing, which was the most common. First of all, it's amazing you did anything, because most people don't. I mean, not you personally, but it's just generally most people don't do anything. So, number one, it's like, well, it doesn't work. I'm going to this whole internet thing's a bunch of crap. And number two is take these same principles. Remember I said advertising into profit is transferable. So once you get it, if product A doesn't work, that just means the market didn't want it, typically. So you apply the same principles to offer number B. B is a new number, by the way, in my math science. So what happened after that?
So in the meantime, I kind of an oddball in all senses, but also that I'm a physician who is into marketing. So I had other friends, physicians. I'm originally from Brazil. And
barely detectable accent, really.
So I end up being invited to start giving talks about marketing to physicians. And then I said, okay, I love marketing. These are people that I can help. Let me start with it.
Have you ever done public speaking or anything before?
I did a training. We give a lot of lectures during training, and I presented papers in national meetings and stuff like that.
So it was the kind that the sedative speaking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Put everybody.
I could see a bunch of cardiothoracic surgeons all together, and it's just like,
it's the
to
most
them, it's
boring
probably
thing ever.
It's like,
The most boring. Oh.
It could help me sleep if you could record it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be great.
So I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I used the same HPA method that I had learned 2 years before, whenever there was.
It's nothing more than a campaign structure.
Yeah, I used the same campaign, and then, it's a high-paid advisor program. So
and if you act now, you can have your own copy. No, it doesn't exist. It's off the market. I take it off.
I think you had like 2 classes, and you cut it off.
Yeah, ADD is a gift at times.
So just to you guys understand is you run ads, you throw people into a webinar, and from the webinar you just pitch whatever, high consulting services. That's what I was doing. And that's another thing about keeping things under perspective. And I would literally, in my head, scream at you, this darn Frank Kern. He thinks that I'm Frank Kern, that I'm going to just go from cold to a $6,000 program, just because they're doctors. Nobody's going to buy that. And again, the first webinar tanked. Then I just kept at it. Then I started getting some results. I created a course called the Medical Marketing Academy, and started getting courses, sold, a few here, a few there, but I wasn't really fulfilled. And the other thing too, there's this now I understand when you say, the rap going on in your head, right?
Oh, madness.
So loud. So I had this thing in my head. Then there was the Russia Mafia. Remember the Russia Mafia?
This is on broadcast to the world.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we should end the broadcast and then be like, yes, I do remember that. We're not going to talk about.
Oh, that's a name that I came up with.
Yeah.
It's called the Irresistible Intrigue Offer. So I start, okay, now I want to do that in the U.S. because Brazil is super regulated. Physicians cannot advertise. I said, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. So talking to Frank, we'd say, okay, let's implement the Irresistible Intrigue Offer, which is pretty much, here's who I am, here's what I have to offer you. Come talk to me, or we talk on the phone, and if you think that I wasted your time, I pay you double your deposit. But I was dealing with physicians, they're high earners, so my payback was $200. And I remember talking to you, I said, dude, if I do that, my little company is going to go broke if people ask for this money back. I said, they're not going to ask for the money back. So I wrote a piece of mail, used direct mail, deployed it just in Colorado where I live, and I got 20% response.
That's unbelievable.
But I totally messed up, let me be appropriate. And the reason I messed up was because I did have the response was slow and trickled in gradually. And because I didn't have that Frank Kern result, we all want that, right? You think you're going to put the stuff out there, and then all of a sudden you're going to make $100,000 in a day.
It never happened.
Yeah, I know it didn't. Results not typical. So what happened was the ladders kicked in. People kind of did whatever it is that there was on the call to action, but I lost track of it. I said, how can I be so dumb? And then here you are again. I wanted to immediately call these people, but it was a little too late. They kind of had turned cold and this and that. So I kept kind of literally spinning my wheel. I wasn't really fulfilled helping I was helping mostly plastic surgeons, and I thought, no offense, but I thought was not really what I wanted.
You're not cardiothoracic surgeon.
Well, I'm not saying that way. Well, I just thought it was a little shallow, but I know we're broadcasting, but and I obviously I was mistaken. But to make the long story short, then you came up again with in my mind, I call it the machine. I don't know exactly what you call it, but the 7 campaign.
I'm going to call it the device because Ryan has a program called the machine.
Oh, whatever.
It's the device. It's the other machine.
Yeah. So
the implementation boot camp.
Yeah, the implementation boot camp. But now I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm really going to expand my business. This got to be a business. It was very amateurish what I was doing. It was professional, but from a business standpoint, it was very amateurish. I'm giving talks and selling consultations.
I love that because it's making money.
No, it is making money.
So
but
he's left out the part that he's actually making money as a practicing physician, which is a real easy job. There's no pressure or anything. It's not like you just show up. Gosh, I hope this guy makes it, Could you imagine that kind of, dude, I don't even see how you can function. I'm weirded out all the time, and you got to deal with the life or death, and it's just crazy. So you have left out that you were actually, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You made it happen. You're getting customers, you're making money and stuff.
Yeah, but I think that's very important, what based on what you also said this morning. I was getting success, but in my mind, I wasn't, because my expectations were completely different. And I remember when I came for the implementation boot camp, you said, dude, you're crushing. And I'm like, are you high? Like, what do you mean I'm crushing? Right?
I don't know why you would say that.
Yeah. I don't know why I said that either. But it was pretty much it. And you told me, dude, you're crushing. I think that by then I had made like 60 grand or something. And you said,
ad spend. So I remember now. So he would spend like $2,500 or something because you were selling in Brazil.
That's correct. Correct.
And the return would be 1 billion %. And he's like, what should I do? I'm like, well, let's see. Let me call you back.
Yeah.
So
then I did the implementation thing, implemented the whole thing, deployed, and the rest was history. That was last year. It literally was last spring, I think.
no kidding, that's right. Right.
It was a year ago. It took me about 3 to 4 months to have everything ready, copy, written, videos used, because obviously I have to do everything in a different language. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and it worked fine.
So, dude, all right, so number one, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time. This is going to be hard. Yes, it's going to have to spend a lot of time. Heart surgeon makes time for it, makes it happen. Quit your whining. Number two, my market this, my customers that. Dude, it's Brazil. Thriving economy down there right now, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's an important point. Then the economy is into shambles. There's a lot of problems with the currency. Obviously, the dollar pretty much almost quadruple in value since I started this. And then I said, okay, you work there, even if the Brazilian economy doesn't cooperate, now I'm going to do it here. And that's in the process that I am right now. I became a certified infusion partner and all of that stuff, thanks to you. He pushed me and said, yeah, dude, go ahead and do it if you want. And that's part of the asset that I think is important. Now I have the asset. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I was very insecure of what I could provide. And I think the few people from the Irresistible Intrigue offer letter that I sent out, that I talked to, that I didn't close, it was because my insecurities, I think, were all obviously it transpired during the conversation. Mm-hmm. Because I said, I didn't have the confidence to just go ahead and deliver it. Then I started, getting some wins and some wins and some wins, and then I built the confidence. Now there's no business that I can't help. So,
boom.
Yeah. So now I have an asset that, I can pretty much talk to any company, and I know, but I didn't know what I knew. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I ended today with 0.014% of the Earth's population knows what you know.
Yeah, but in a room full of people, and you go to like even bigger events, and you think that everybody's doing it.
No, right? And most of them are just watching. They're like, yay! The Russians call it making wind. They're just pretending like they're doing activity, thinking it gets results. So our mission right now is to make the process cooler. So I'm going to diagram what you're telling me. So, and this is how to think about this kind of stuff. So what we're doing right now, I don't know if the Facebooks have died. It only works for 30 minutes at a time. It doesn't matter. I mean, if they're not here, it ain't.